Man, are you excited to step into the ring again?
Yes.
What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, young, sturdy. You have 16 years on him, man.
Worry about it.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It shows that combination punchers. That's how Pacquiao was landing. His punches, his combinations, and it just shows you that he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, into this fight, confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Here in Manila, with a great legendary champion Manny Pacquiao shall give us.
Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao just had their first face-off ahead of their July fight, which is exactly 50 days away. The 46-year-old Filipino boxing legend is set to return to the ring to face WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. While the significant age difference may lead some to consider the matchup a mismatch, their face-off showed that this is more than just an older fighter taking on a younger opponent.
When I was growing up, he was always a fighter I was studying. I was always watching him. He was always one of my favorites. It was so fucking just so technical. Even when he was in danger.
Highlighted a compelling rivalry between legacy and youth. Manny Pacquiao, standing tall with decades of boxing greatness, faces a younger Mario Barrios radiating with energy and ambition. Pacquiao's return is stirring mixed emotions among boxing fans. While some are thrilled to see the legendary fighter come out of retirement, others worry that the sport may have passed him by. Stepping into the ring against a high-level opponent like Barrios poses a serious risk, especially for a 46-year-old whose reflexes have likely slowed, whose agility has diminished, and whose prime years are now in the past.
But it's good. It's good. Good experience. We give the good action fight to the fans.
Interesting. The familiar sounds of Wildcard Boxing Club have returned. The thunderous thwacks against the heavy bag and the fierce grunts of a man pouring every ounce of power into his punches. Record 8-division champion and soon-to-be International Hall of Fame inductee Manny Pacquiao is back, determined to reclaim the welterweight title at age 46. I'm still excited for it, and I'm enjoying all the training. Pacquiao, 62, on August 2nd told Boxing Scene. I still have the passion like before, so I'm excited. I don't have to worry about that. Pacquiao quickly moved on from his May 12th election loss and an unsuccessful bid for a return to the Philippine Senate, shifting his focus to a fight against WBC 147-pound champion Mario Barrios, 30, of San Antonio. I'm confident I'll win the fight, Pacquiao said, but I'm not taking it lightly and not underestimating him. I have to punish myself as I've done before in training. Under the guidance of Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach and a return to the grueling conditioning regimen that once made him and Floyd Mayweather the defining fighters of this century, Pacquiao believes his strict preparation will deliver a far stronger performance than the two lackluster exhibitions he participated in following his 2021 welterweight title loss, by decision to Cuba's Yordenis Ugas. I only trained for 1 week for those, Pacquiao said, referring to his exhibition bouts. They can all expect a good Manny Pacquiao. I know the fans are excited to watch me again, and I will do my best. That's why I'm working hard, in training, doing everything like I used to in the gym. I'm here to put on a good fight, and I won't let the fans down. Pacquiao's motivation has been further boosted this week by the world title victories of two fighters he promotes: Mexico's super flyweight Wilibaldo Garcia and fellow Filipino Pedro Taduran, a minimum weight champion. I'm excited and happy for them, Pacquiao said, and proud that I can help others reach my goal.
10 seconds.
But you have a mentality. Nobody has kids today. Just want to get paid. They don't want to fight the best. They don't want to challenge themselves. No, the payment or the earning or everything like that is that's the fruits of your labor. I mean, the fruits of your hard work, sacrifice.
You do want sacrifices, then how can you harvest?
There's a famous saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Defeating Barrios would mark Pacquiao's 13th welterweight title victory since first claiming the WBO belt with a 12th round technical knockout of Hall of Fame 4-division champion Miguel Cotto back in 2009, a moment that has often occupied Pacquiao's thoughts in recent weeks. It means a lot to come back, and I ask that of the Lord, Pacquiao said about reclaiming a world title at the second most advanced age in boxing history. Some believe he can do it, including newly crowned secondary WBA welterweight champion Rolando Romero, who has already called for a showdown with Pacquiao if he wins. As for whether he would fight again after Barrios, Pacquiao said, "I don't know, one at a time. I need to focus on this one fight."
It's good, but I put the video up and all the comments were, "Thank you for saving boxing. Boxing needed you, man. They're happy." It's not the same without you. It's not as exciting.
I'm so happy because not all of the boxers like me, and giving me strength and physical strength, like physical condition like me. Especially on my side.
This is surely not what Pacquiao fans were hoping to hear when it comes to a fight prediction. While Mario Barrios is a talented fighter, it's true that many of his best wins have been matched, or surpassed, by others. He was the first of 3 men to outscore Olympian Batir Akhmedov, the third of 4 to outpoint Fabian Maidana, and he faced Yordenis Ugas 2 years after the Cuban had already dismantled an aging Pacquiao and 1 year after Errol Spence Jr. had knocked Ugas out. Promoters might highlight Barrios' last fight, in which he was dropped and held to a draw by Abel Ramos, a fighter who had lost 3 of his last 5 bouts. Meanwhile, the more cynical voices may even argue that Ramos had done less to deserve a title shot than Pacquiao has.
I've been in boxing for so long, and I'm still here, kicking, healthy. That's God's goodness. I always praise the Lord.
Manny, for all the fans and
Whatever happens, I always praise the Lord for everything happened in my life. Because everything's happened in my life for a purpose, and the Lord my God is good always.
Well, that's a true story. The way you started, very humble beginning.
Feats like this are not without precedent, and the example most often cited is George Foreman, who won the heavyweight championship at age 45. However, comparisons between Foreman and Pacquiao often overlook key differences. Foreman had already been back in the ring for 7 years by the time he knocked out Michael Moorer, with 31 comeback fights under his belt, including 3 world title bouts. Another frequently mentioned case is Bernard Hopkins, the only man to hold a world title at an older age than Pacquiao is now. He reigned as the WBA and IBF light heavyweight champion at 49. But unlike Pacquiao, Hopkins didn't return from retirement. He was a fighter who peaked late and stayed active, not one trying to restart his career after years away from the ring.
I was living on a cardboard, no bed, to the cover of Time magazine. How many people could say that? It's like 10 different movies.
Can you imagine sleeping in the street, like in the cartoon? And sometimes you eat, sometimes not. You have food, like, amazingly what I have done, what I have accomplished in life. It's because of God's goodness, mercy, and blessing. And not because
Barrios may not be the best world champion in boxing, or even in his division, but he is a 29-year-old fighter who has competed 5 times since Pacquiao last stepped into a professional ring. While it's true that the 2 best opponents he's faced, Gervonta Tank Davis and Keith Thurman, both defeated him, Davis by 11th round stoppage and Thurman by decision, Barrios has still gained valuable top-tier experience and remains firmly in his physical prime. Realistically, you don't need to be a world-class fighter to beat a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. In recent appearances, Pacquiao's body has seemed unable to execute the sharp reflexes demanded by his brilliant boxing mind. Against DKU, who stood 6 feet tall and was the biggest opponent Pacquiao had ever faced. It wasn't so much about what you did, but rather what Pacquiao could no longer do. His lack of timing and diminished sharpness made the exhibition difficult to watch.
It's because of God's mercy and strength.
No, one time you told me that you used to live in the gym and you had one bag of rice for everybody in the gym. How can you box with no nutrition?
That's right.
But you did it.
I did it because my mind is always focused on my head. I always think.
The version of Manny Pacquiao who lost to Yordenis Ugas had already lost some sharpness. But this current iteration has lost even more. What once was a yard is now a mile. Pacquiao announced his retirement from professional boxing shortly after that 2021 defeat to the former WBA welterweight champion. Since then, the Filipino legend has participated in 2 exhibition bouts. One against martial arts influencer DKU, who posed little challenge, and another against professional K1 kickboxer Rukia Ampo, who exposed Pacquiao's age and slowed pace under boxing rules. In an interview with Sporting News Australia, when asked if he believes Pacquiao can defy the odds and become a world champion again, Crawford initially needed just 2 words to sum up.
That Manny very well. Yeah, he's a true courageous guy that he put something in his head. And obviously, to create more history. This guy that's going to give everything and, try his best. That's what Manny, one thing I always learned with Manny, give 110%. Try your best no matter what. So,
Mario Barrios is a great matchup for Manny Pacquiao, and at this stage, it's a 50-50 fight. A victory over Barrios would make Pac-Man the oldest world welterweight champion of all time, breaking the record he set himself when he defeated Keith Thurman in 2019 to capture the WBA welterweight title at 40 years old. It's also been confirmed that Pacquiao has reunited with legendary trainer Freddie Roach, who guided the Filipino great through 34 fights over 16 years before their split in 2018. With Pacquiao set to make his boxing return at age 46 this July against Barrios, few are better positioned than Roach to analyze and predict the outcome of this highly anticipated fight.
Rumor going around this week that Manny Pacquiao is going to return. What do you make of that?
I don't know. We shall see. I don't know.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
I can't say if he's too old or not. If he get in there and win, then everybody will be saying different. So I don't put no limit on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao faces the monumental task of challenging WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios on July 19th. One person who knows both fighters well is British boxing icon Amir Khan, a 2004 Olympic silver medalist and former WBA super and IBF light welterweight champion. Khan trained and sparred with Pacquiao back in 2008 and has also sparred with Barrios, giving him unique insight into both athletes. That's why his perspective on their upcoming fight, shared during a recent interview with Sky Sports, is particularly fascinating.
Barrios, and is there any chance we see you still in there at 46?
No, at 46, I don't plan on being back in the ring, but Mario Barrios is a great matchup for Manny Pacquiao. And I think, at this age, it's a 50-50 fight for Manny Pacquiao.
Sparring sessions with Pacquiao were both highly competitive and an honor. Khan spent a tremendous amount of time in the ring with Pacquiao, reportedly sparring for over 300 rounds together. And at one point, they were even scheduled to fight professionally. Despite this close connection, Bolton's Khan believes the upcoming challenge for the pound-for-pound great is a risky one. I think it will be a fantastic fight, but if I were to advise Manny, I wouldn't tell him to come back, Khan told Sky Sports. You should only come back if you're someone who's already retired. Someone like myself, for example. Because then it's an even fight.
Yeah.
I just fall with him.
But that's why I think people thought that's a dangerous fight for Canelo because of where you
for
was.
me, it was perfect because why at that time was because I just got beat by Prescott.
Yeah.
And I went to America to train, but to rebuild myself, and I needed somewhere to go, which is gonna make me train hard.
Did you feel you have to move away from the UK?
He said Thank you guys for watching my video, so please subscribe to my channel Heavy Hitters for more new updates.